Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Thursday, September 1st, 2016. I'm your host, Alexander Coffey, today talking about that fantastic Nintendo Direct today. I am joined by my usual co-host, Don Terrio.
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. This Nindies at Night thing later had better be good.
It's so not gonna be, and it's so gonna be PC games that like you could have played 18 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. The other voice agreeing with me is Neal Ronahan, director of NintendoWorldReport.com, as he is wont to do.
Hey, Picross 3D Round 2's out in America! Yay!
$30.
Still worth it.
We'll talk about all that stuff. Our very special guest today is one King Nintendo fanboy. That is one Justin. Let me try to pronounce this. It's been a minute.
Let's see.
All right. Justin Berube.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you guys ready? You guys ready for some amiibo?
I'm ready for one of them.
I'm ready. There's a couple amiibo.
Two. Yeah.
I am very happy with the amiibo spread for the most part in this one.
I would say this was a good Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
it was good.
Because right. The amiibos, there's Poochy, there's the Zelda ones, and then there's the Animal Crossing cards.
It's the Animal Crossing cards or whatever.
Yeah, no, but the other two, like that's red hot. Like I'm all about Yarn Poochy.
Yarn Poochy
and my Zelda stuff.
Yeah.
Except for like the weird big nose on 8-bit Link.
Mm.
The nose didn't look that great on the 8-bit Mario.
Yeah.
Your Poochy hype is what's keeping me up right now. So.
That Poochy looks so freaking good!
Yep.
What if they do the big Poochy?
Oh, God. There's still time. We got until February, guys. We're going to know what the NX is, theoretically.
If Poochy's male, like, where's Mrs. Poochy?
Is
there a Mrs. Yoshi?
Well,
does Yoshi have a gender?
Yoshi's asexual.
I guess you're right.
Well, Yoshi's kind of asexual. I think it breeds with everything it eats, which is like the dream of every Bourist, I think.
It's kind of weird that like Yoshi's weapon is that he takes his own unborn child and throws it at people. Yeah. How this has never been an issue before.
Okay, let's talk about this guy.
You've gone too far.
We have a lot of stuff to go through. We're gonna go through the press release because that's my show notes. So the press release actually does a pretty good job. But we're gonna get to this thing where like the final thing we talk about is the Nindy Summer Jam sweepstakes. But I'll try to stop the show.
But we got some other stuff after that.
Oh yeah.
Then we'll do our Nintendo 3DS name not final.
For Nintendo 3DS, name not final. That's the final title. It's a new side-scrolling Pikmin adventure game. It's in 2D, and I don't want to be a sourpuss, but I'm not even gonna say it looks like Chibi Robo Ziplash a little, which it totally does.
No, I think the better thing to say is it looks like Yoshi's New Island.
It looks like
Yoshi's New Island. It also looks a little
bit
like Yoshi Touch and Go, where you like flicking stuff.
I mean,
you know what it really doesn't look like, though? It doesn't really look like a fun game.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I feel like, well, I don't think we've seen nearly enough about this game to make that judgment. Like, I remember being here at the last Nintendo Direct like 14 years ago when we were talking about Paper Mario Color Splash, and we were all like super negative on it because of like the pedigree with Sticker Star. But I want to say there was some sane person. I know it wasn't me because I was really down on that game. Someone said it was just like we saw like 20 seconds. Like really, like let's see it play out a little more. And that's kind of how I feel about this Pikmin 3DS game. Is that I mean, it could go one of two ways. It could be Yoshi's New Island, which I don't think was terrible. Like it was okay. It was kind of a run-of-the-mill platformer. Or it could be something like Kirby Mass Attack, which was a platformer that combined it with interesting use of the touchscreen in a way that made it a really cool game.
Some people are saying that Arzest is actually making the new Pikmin.
We do not have confirmation of that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but doesn't it look like a game that RZest would be making?
It makes total sense. Also, if you think about 2016, New Island came out in 2014, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is this the game Miyamoto is calling Pikmin 4?
No. Because
No way.
I looked at those quotes, and they were talking about console releases, and they were talking about getting pushed to the wayside for development.
Okay.
And he refers to it as Pikmin 4. He would not be referring to this game as Pikmin 4. I'm convinced.
But what if that was? My concern was, what if that was just like the internal name for a while, and then yeah.
Nope.
But if that's not Pikmin 4, I'm okay with this.
Justin, if you feel adamantly that this is Pikmin 4, I'm down for laying a bet on that because I am so confident.
I'm not willing to wait. I'm not willing to go that far. I'm just saying, what if that was it? But
because I would assume that
a
Pikmin 4 game that Miyamoto is talking about is made by the Pikmin 3 team, and I think that it's pretty safe to assume that shortly after that quote from Miyamoto, Pikmin 4 got pushed to NX.
Yeah, because if you remember in E3 2015, it said Pikmin 4 was very close to completion. I have an NX article, or not an NX article, an IGN article right now. But then this E3, he said like it got pushed down the list of priorities. Yeah. But it sounds like it's being referred to as Pikmin 4, and he says it does exist. I don't think that's a handheld game. I think Justin, there's like a 10% chance you could be right, but I wouldn't make that bet.
It's not something I'm willing to bet on. It was more of saying, should we be prepared for that?
This is Yoshi's New Island to Yoshi's Woolly World. Like that's what this is.
I'm just gonna say, depending on what you think the NX is, it's possible that the next Pikmin game could be a handheld game anyway. But this isn't it. This is not Pikmin 4.
Hey! The NX was not mentioned during this Nintendo Direct, Donald. This is a 3DS show.
Yes, and I'm seeing the gray names on prominent internet messages.
The fact that I said NX like a minute ago, but anyway. Now, we should challenge ourselves. From this point on, let's not talk about the NX at all. Let's talk about the 3DS, just like Nintendo.
Yeah, let's do it. I won't mention it again. Yeah, but okay. So I said I wasn't a fan of the footage I saw. What did you guys actually think of the Pikmin footage you saw?
I liked it. Then again, I liked Chibi Robo Ziplash until I got cheesed off by the roulette wheel. So this seems like it seems like an interesting way of bringing strategy to it. It feels almost like SteamWorld Heist in a way.
I need to play this game. Like that's the way that I'll be able to make a judgment on it because I could see it going one of two ways. As I said, it could be like Ziplash, which I adored. It could be like Yoshi's New Island, which I thought was okay. Or it could be like Kirby Mass Attack, which I thought was really novel. Like it could be, like those are kind of the options in my mind. Yeah. And what I saw, well, it was kind of encouraging until I found out that it might be RZest, and then I got a little discouraged. But like I want to see more of this game. I really like Pikmin. I like that world. I like those characters, and I hope that game's neat.
Yeah, I also want to see a lot more of this game. I think it's really too early to tell where this game is going to end up going as far as quality. We don't know who's developing it, and the clip we saw was not very long, so I'm more of a wait and see on this one.
Predictions as to when it comes out, because right now it's just 2017.
Summer 2017. The same window Pikmin 3 came out in.
I'll say May.
Yeah.
I'm going June.
I'll say August.
Yeah. Because Pikmin 3 was like August 4th, August 3rd, I think.
Yep.
And it was June.
I'm just wondering how much life 3DS will have in it. I guess we could talk about that.
I think that the 3DS will be a thing that exists throughout 2017.
Yeah.
And towards the very beginning of 2018, I think that'll be when it sunsets.
Yeah. Maybe.
One more Pokemon generation.
One more half step, and then we got the NX Pokemon.
Sinnoh confirmed.
Whoa! You can't say that.
No.
You broke the rule.
Someone in the chat said July 2017. That would happen if Nintendo of America released games during July. They don't.
When was the last time that happened?
20. I want to say 20.
Club?
10? Dragon
Well,
Quest?
yeah, technically Wii Sports Club came out in July. And that was like 2013?
14.
Was it? Okay, but whatever. That compilation disc came out in July. I don't know. Dragon Quest IX's maybe. I know Strikers Charged came out in like 2007 in July,
Yeah.
but since then, like Nintendo of America for some reason does not release games in the month of July.
Okay.
I think it's because they're competing with people going on vacation. And
Yeah, or at least that's the logic behind it. Whether or
Yeah.
not it's, I mean, considering that they don't release games in July, and July was like the 3DS sold like crazy because of Pokemon Go, maybe they should rethink that strategy. Just saying.
I think that was like a freak thing where that game drove hype. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, then
honestly, considering
then it sounds
how
like July
they
might be
weren't
a month
prepared to
that's
release the
wide
Pokemon
open.
Go Plus in July, they didn't have enough to do that. They really weren't prepared for the level of success that had to really get a lot more out of it as far as simultaneous releases and putting up the supply chain full of other Pokemon games.
There's a part of me that like maybe really bad things happen to Reggie in the month of July, and people are just like, let's bring out this happy Pikmin game in July, and he's like, no. Like my family was attacked by wolves in July.
Nah, Bill just stole his donuts again.
That was cute. That whole thing was
I love how charming it is. It's so fun. Like they're just it's like
If we can't get Mr. Iwata staring at random pieces of fruit all the time, at least we've got these skits, and they have a cohesive storyline in this thing now.
yeah, like this has been going on, and like it made me think that the really terrible like Reggie with the Galaxy new 3DS at the beginning of the week, like in retrospect, that was brilliant because it set this up.
Yeah.
It's like I remember seeing that. I'm like, what are they doing? Is this
The only
it?
problem I saw at this whole skit was all those 2017 games are done and on Reggie's 3DS.
I mean, it could be a test 3DS.
Okay.
Or could just be, I don't know, a plot contrivance for a fucking sketch on a Nintendo Direct.
I understand, but man, all those games must be done,
I mean, some of them probably are, but
It's all part of the Nintendo Direct cinematic universe.
yep.
Is
there a post-credits I missed? Shit.
No, there's never a
Oh, that was
post-credits.
Miitopia. That was
No.
Miitopia.
Was it? Was that
Yeah.
really post-credits?
I mean, it wasn't
In
on
Japan it
anything
was.
but the Japan Direct after the North American one ended.
Oh boy. Okay,
is
we have more stuff to talk about.
It's gonna be great when they start getting to like 3-4 movies a year. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. The Legend of Zelda. Fans will have plenty of chances to celebrate the 30th anniversary this year. They got the Skyward Sword is out on Virtual Console today for Wii U. Hyrule Warrior Legends has that Wind Waker, or not Wind Waker,
Yeah, it's,
Spear
what
Tracks
is it?
DLC and Phantom Hourglass.
The Sand Rod, or I think that's the name of it.
And there's
from-
also a
Sand
train.
wand.
Well, no, the train. The Sand Wand, I believe, triggers the train straight up attacking fools, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Toon Zelda, which is like her and that like the guard that she possessed.
Right.
in
The
Spirit Tracks.
Phantom. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Phantom.
Yeah, and then there's also there's those books, which is basically like half sequels to Hyrule Historia, which are coming out. There's like 3 of them, and then there's also Nintendo will release 4 special amiibo figures: 8-Bit Link, Ocarina of Time Link, and a 2-pack that includes both Toon Link and Zelda from the Wind Waker. I am all in on Ocarina of Time Link. What I'm worried about is that's the one everyone else is all in on too, and it won't be very easy to get one for about 2 months.
I think that I would hope that at this point with Amiibo, Nintendo's going to realize that these Zelda shit sells.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I am all in on all 4 of these. I haven't really cared about a new Amiibo since like last year.
Yeah.
Maybe the Yarn Yoshi was the last. I guess Roy earlier this year. But even that, it was kind of like I walked into a GameStop and he wasn't there, and I was like, oh, okay. And then like went into a GameStop like 2 months later and found him and got him. And I wasn't that bothered by it. But here's the thing that here's my theory with this. So they mention They're gonna all these the 3 Links and the Zelda will function like the Link and Zelda Smash Brothers amiibo, for all the other games. In Breath of the Wild, there will be special functionality for all 4 of them. So we know that Wolf Link, you get the little Wolf Link partner when you're in Breath of the Wild. What if you get a little 8-bit Link that runs around with you and hunts shit in Breath of the Wild, and you get Ocarina Link, the hero of time, walking around with you and hunting shit?
So, but the 64-bit Ocarina of Time Link, like, it looks like it's a...
I mean, like, there's
the
some wiggle room there. They could do it, like, based on the art. Like, I mean, with the 8-bit one, of course, like, that dude needs to be in 8 bits.
Yeah.
But, like, the Ocarina one, it could be based off the art. It could be based on how he looked on the N64.
It should so look low resolution. That would be
that would be incredible. I feel like that's the least likely of the two, but either way, like, if they have this idea of, like, yeah, we're just gonna, like, add these Zelda characters that can come in and be partners. Like, yeah, I want to walk around with Toon Link and just fuck shit up. Like, oh god, man, I want Breath of the Wild right now. So bad.
Yeah, I mean, we also have to take into consideration we don't know what the Breath of the Wild amiibo do either. So.
Yeah, it'll like give you more arrows or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Guardian. Maybe you get a little Guardian to fight with you.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Mario.
Well, can I talk about one more thing with the one thing I'm not sure about? I haven't been watching the press release terminology as well, but I noticed on the press release they called the Skyward Sword as a virtual console release. And have they been calling the Wii releases on Wii U virtual console releases before?
They've been inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
when
weird.
they first had the Wii games on Wii U, it was like, there are Wii games on your Wii U, and then like sometimes you'd go into the shop and like they'd have like virtual console, and then have the categories for each system, and Wii would be there. And I've seen it like it is very deliberately called a virtual console game in this press release, which I think that they might be phasing over to 100% calling it that all the time. But I didn't notice it here, but I have noticed that since Wii games started coming out on Wii U, that they just have been inconsistent across the board about it.
Yeah,
I wonder why that is.
I know some, but not all of the Wii download game pages on the Nintendo website they have the little virtual console. Like, this is a virtual console game. It's from an old a classic system, and some of them don't. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
as far as we're concerned, they're VC games.
Yep.
The amiibo we haven't seen, as Cherry Goblin calls attention to, is the 3 remaining Smash amiibo. Corrin, Bayonetta.
I've been calling attention to this for a long time.
I think they're going.
The future system that we can't name might have a port of Smash Brothers.
They'll be
I think
there
it's gonna be a little more than a port.
Yeah, I agree.
Smash Brothers on the Smash Brothers on the Lord Voldemort will have the last 3 amiibo, which is a shame because I'd really like them to go back and put support for Corrin into Fire Emblem Fates, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, weirder things have happened. Animal Crossing New Leaf.
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that later. Next up, Mario Sports Superstars, which is kind of like Mario Sports Mix done right. Well, theoretically, if it turns out to be good. But
Justin, did you play Sports Mix?
I played it a little bit. I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like a bunch of Mario Party games fleshed out a little bit and then thrown into a package.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what, like, because I only played that. I believe it's one of the 2 episodes of Nintendo Minute that I'm in. Was it like they had like some like press competition for Mario Sports Mix, and I'm in that. I got like bounced in the 2nd round, so I didn't make it too far.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, like from what it seems with this, and we still don't 100% know who's developing it, other than I think Camelot's doing the golf and the tennis. That's confirmed. But it looks like these are more deliberately full-fledged games. They called out specifically that the soccer is 11 on 11.
Yes. Yes, it's a 5-sport compilation. full-fledged versions, it says, of baseball, tennis, golf, horse racing, and 11-on-11 soccer games. These soccer games don't look like Mario Strikers, but it seems like semi-inspired by it. The horse racing, it looks like a better version of what was in Mario and Sonic. The tennis and golf literally look exactly like the versions that are in the Camelot games. And the baseball actually looks like Mario Superstar Baseball, which in my opinion is the best Mario sports game, and I'm actually pretty excited for this game.
I'm looking forward to this game too. Although, man, if Mario Superstar Baseball, if either of them had like an actual season mode of any sort, those games would be incredible. But it has that stupid like, I don't know, go around and beat these generic teams up, and there's a world map. Like, no, give me standings, give me stats, give me a playoff. Like, let's go.
I kind of wish they would have brought the hockey game over from Sports Mix, because that's like the main reason I wanted to play that game, but I never did. But I'm just weirded out by the horse racing game because it doesn't have playing cards in it.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this game.
No buy.
I wasn't a big fan of Sports Mix, and I really think the Mario Tennis that came out on 3DS as a standalone game was a pretty awful game overall. So when it's going to be 1/5 of a total package, how could that even be better? I don't know.
They need to redeem Mario
1/5 of a total package, man. Like, you know that game that you didn't quite enjoy? They're basically going to lift the gameplay from that, and it's going to be 1/5 of a game.
Yeah, but like 5 bad games don't make a good game. So I'll give it a chance.
Okay, were the mechanics the issue with Mario Tennis Open for you, or was it the dressing around it?
I think it was a little bit of both, but the mechanics did not feel good in that. It felt really predictable. You knew where to go all the time, thanks to like it kept having like those circles appear where the ball was going to go every time to get like power shots and whatnot. And I don't know, it just did not feel that great.
I think that means you don't like Mario Tennis.
I liked it on N64, but I don't. And the GameCube one was all right, and then I just think it got worse.
Yeah, definitely. I think the N64 one is the peak. Well, there's a Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance ones, but I think that the N64 one is the peak of like the non-RPG ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a virtual boy.
Yeah.
This is good. This game's gonna have online multiplayer, single-player tournaments, so that's cool. Like this, as long as the gameplay is good, this is gonna be a really neat game.
This would be a good PAX game if it comes out before PAX.
And the tennis is already more full-featured than Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, and they charged what, $50 for that game last year?
That game's a disgrace.
Saw all of the content in that game in 45 minutes. Every character.
I love Mario Golf, so I'm excited for that 5th.
Yeah.
If you want to see a real depressing look at Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, watch the Giant Bomb Quick Look, because it takes them 20 minutes to see basically all the content in the game. Yeah, but yeah, it's like I didn't expect like that I'd be leaving this direct like pretty optimistic about a Mario sports compilation.
The Lonely Goomba made a point about the 3DS game, because it's the reason why I asked you that, Justin, was because I wasn't 100% sure. Like, it's been a long time since I played that Mario Tennis game, and I remember having issues with it, but kind of enjoying it. The chant shots were overpowered in the 3DS game. They were introduced in that one. That's what the Lonely Goomba says, and I do recall that was kind of the issue with the gameplay of that.
Yeah.
Mario Golf World Tour, was that good? Because people said it was good after it came out, and I just didn't believe people.
It was pretty good, actually. It was. I know I was playing it for several months.
The menu system is garbage, but there was really good DLC, lots of content. The way they did online multiplayer was super, super fun, because you could compete on your own time in tournaments. I could start a tournament, you guys could have the code for it or whatever, and then I'd play around, then you could play around, and it would be open for a couple days, and we could keep trying to beat each other. I remember having a lot of fun with that when it first came out. And you can also do a thing where like you're kind of all playing the whole at the same time. So it's kind of that like you're competing against each other, but it's not. You're going more at your own pace. And yeah, Mario Golf World Tour I think is fantastic outside of like a really really pitiful menu system. Like nothing really makes
that
sense.
presentation
Where
needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's like 2 different menu systems that would bring you to similar but different. If you wanted DLC, sometimes you had to go through one, and then for other DLC, you had to go to the other one, and it was very confusing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That is Mario Sports Superstars. Moving on, Super Mario Maker is getting a Nintendo 3DS version now. This is one I'm actually going to read this straight from the press release because I want to see what the press release actually says about this game. Because the direct, you know what? I'll just say after. Now Nintendo 3DS owners will have access to a near unlimited wealth of Super Mario courses to play! Exclamation point. Players can also create courses with nearly all the tools, that's fantastic, available in the original Wii U version, along with near interactive lessons. I'm just joking, it just says interactive lessons. In a feature unique to the Nintendo 3DS version, it'll be local multiplayer exclusive. I'm not kidding about that, but that's not what it says. In a feature unique to the 3DS version, players who have their own game and system can collaborate on level designs by sharing them with one another locally before they're complete.
Okay, can we pause here? What does that mean? Like, would you be working on it on the same time, or would it be like, hey man, I made a pass on the level, and then send it over to the other person?
You send it to the other person.
I think it's that.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds like it would take so long to make a level.
That doesn't sound fun.
It might be.
I think it's more so you can like work on a level, and then someone else might be able to do like the underground portion or something, or like, I had some ideas. Maybe you want to finish it up.
I mean, I like the idea of like if local multiplayer, like we're sitting in the same room and we both can like work on the level at the same time. Like that's really neat. But if it's like a turn-based level design thing, that doesn't sound like a good time.
Well, that's too bad, because while courses can't be shared online, players can connect to the internet to download and play, wait for this, select courses from the Wii U version. Additionally, the game, Dash, which is scheduled to launch December 2, because it's been in development for all of 3 weeks, includes 100 Nintendo-designed courses with new challenges, like collecting every coin or defeating all enemies. This game is fucking pathetic.
I guarantee you, you made the comment about it like starting 3 weeks ago. I think that there was the runaway success and like everybody, you know, Twitch playing Mario Maker, like the reaction to Mario Maker, and they were like, "Yo, Mario Maker team, can you like do this in a year?" Like that's what I feel happened. I mean that's speculation, but
so
like
the Majora's Mask, in other words.
Yeah.
Except they left out the mystery.
Majora's Mask was like a Game Boy game.
They Wind Waker HD'd this.
No,
I have more to say about this.
If Wind Waker HD ran on a Game Boy Advance.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, but because the items that they mentioned that are missing are the mystery mushrooms, so none of the amiibo support.
Which is like some of the most fun thing in the game, in my opinion. I love using those.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing about the no online is that Nintendo looked at most of the levels and realized that, you know what, the average player kind of sucks at making Mario levels. So let's contain the damage.
Yeah, the problem is that like none of the levels are like all the damage is already done. It's just preventing new damage. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing is I think there's a lot of dumb moves in the Super Mario Maker for 3DS, as Daniel pointed out in the chat, and I will read what he said because I agree with it 100%. I will still get it and play more than the Wii U version because that's what when this thing comes out. I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to play it a lot.
I'm going to play it a lot, too, but I think not being able to share levels online, I'm not going to be making jack on this game. I'm probably going to play the 100 levels, have fun with that, maybe download some levels, but if I can't use all the tools and whatnot, I see no reason for me to even waste my time making a course on the 3DS version.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a weird thing. I mean, it's called the Wii U was a bomb, and they're trying to squeeze whatever they can out of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have more to say on that subject in a couple minutes.
Speaking of that,
Poochy and Yoshi's Woolly World. They had their Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D moment. This gorgeous Wii U.
Except for this happened like a year after the game came out.
It's
like Donkey Kong
Country. Mario.
It was like
same with Mario Maker.
Yeah. Well, no, but I think there was considerable. Was it 2 or 3 years between Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, right? Early 2000, late 2010 to like halfway through 2013.
Yeah. So this is a little different, but also kind of similar. It comes with some new features. Every stage available in the original. Exclusive new stages focus on Poochy. And there are Poochy pups, which are little helpers who jump on suspicious spots to indicate where players should look for secrets and collectibles. Nintendo and Japanese stop-motion animation studio Dwarf. There are 30 animated shorts, which will be included in the 3DS version. And the great news, a Yarn amiibo figure of Poochy will launch at the same time as the game on February 3rd.
He's going to get a friend. He's going to get a friend. That's not just him in a different color or big.
Although the only thing I will pose as a question to you is, isn't the title Poochy and Yoshi's Woolly World such a great title that you almost wish it was an original game for 3DS?
Yeah, but I think this game is going to solve Neal's biggest complaint about the game. He's going to use those Poochy pups and find all those items.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna have the Poochy pups out there because they're the cutest thing I ever saw.
God.
The amiibo is the cutest thing you ever saw.
It's funny because I don't like for people who follow me on Twitter. I don't think I really went on the rant too much on the show. Maybe I did. I don't know. I was really disappointed in Yoshi's Woolly World, and I'm watching this in the direct and being like, I'll buy that. Like I might be disappointed again, but that's adorable. Everything about this, like I want to live in that place. I want to hang out with Yoshi and the Poochy pups. That sounds like a really good time.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new content, but I 100%ed that game on Wii U, so it's like, do I really want to play through the whole game again? Not really. So I'm hoping you can just like access the new content right away.
I guarantee you that you won't be able to. They didn't do it in Donkey Kong Country Returns.
I know, that was very...
That was weird.
This is one of my problems, and one of the reasons I'm excited for NX, because Nintendo keeps doing this thing, and this is the rant I was kind of holding off to. We talked about this game, where they keep porting... I'm sorry. Well, it needs to be brought up in this situation, alright? Sorry, everybody. But Nintendo keeps porting these Wii U games over to 3DS, probably because they aren't selling on Wii U as much as they want them to, so they want to get a bigger return on it, because there's a bigger market on 3DS, and they need that money, and they want me to like double dip on all these games, and like I'm going to. I probably shouldn't, but I want to try the new content, and sometimes they add some fun features, but like how long can you do this for? And that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to NX, is it's supposed to bring everything to one system from what we've said during like those reports and whatnot. So once this is over, once this storm is over, they can't do this anymore. It's going to be one version with updates.
Hey Justin, are you excited for the NX to port a game from itself to itself?
Are you excited for the NX launch lineup to potentially be like a bunch of Wii U games that you already bought?
The NX
or a Wii U game.
I'm okay with Smash Brothers and Mario Maker if it comes to that. If it's an update, if it has significant updates to the game, I'm okay with that. But this is like the same game, and they're going to add like 5 Poochy levels.
No, I think they indicated it's going to be a significant amount of content. Now, if they could do Hyrule Warriors and bring this to the Wii U version, that'd be cool. But either way, I'm buying it because holy crap, that Poochy.
But well, okay.
The Lonely Goomba is pointing out a thing in the chat that's very. These games aren't for Wii U. Yeah, these games aren't for Wii U owners, which is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And you know, yes. there's a very good chance that 1/4 of 3DS owners is the Wii U's user base at this point, if we're lucky. So yeah, why not bring these games to an audience that might actually play them? I mean, sure,
I know,
Yoshi,
but at the same time, if without giving the updates to the Wii U owners, it is like giving the finger to them in some sense. Other than, will you get HD graphics?
Okay, so that means Nintendo pissed off 12 people.
Yes, and I'm one of those 12. And yes, they'll
there are
still get
dozens
my
of us.
money.
Dozens.
So I guess it doesn't matter, does it?
I really okay. Here's something about 3DS. So with 3DS, I think is at like what 60 million, and this is like, I don't know if I'll ever get a confirmed answer on this, but how many of those are people getting the original 3DS and then buying an XL and then buying a new 3DS?
Less than you'd think. I bet. I bet there's 40 million unique 3DS owners. 40 million.
And
that's actually
besides,
probably more than I expected. But
yeah, and those people would put those systems into the channel anyway, either by selling it back to GameStop or giving it to the kid.
Yeah, I mean that's actually what I did. My original is in the hands of the son of a former coworker of my wife's.
You ever get a little condescending when you walk past someone in public and they have like the original 3DS from 2011 and you're like, oh, that's quaint.
My buddy Billy has one of those original 3DSs and I make fun of him every chance I get.
Because it looks like someone bring the original DS in public. Like, what are you doing?
It looks like
yeah.
You know what's great whenever you run into one of the people who are really into the 2DS. Like I've had that happen at a couple like PAXs and stuff, where there's someone being like, "No, man, this is the best way to play the system."
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot disagree more, but if you love it, go ahead and keep.
I want a new 2DS. Then I will rebuy it.
I just want the 2DS, but with.
Be careful what you wish for, Donald.
Like I think I'll be honest. When 2DSs get really cheap, I'll totally buy one because it's like a Game Boy Micro level of novelty.
They're totally
it's already
cheap
at a better
right
price
now.
point than Game Boy Micro.
I mean, what are they? They're 100 now.
80.
I think they're like 79. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, that is getting to the point. I might, if I'm having a bad day and I'm at like a Target or something, I'm buying a 2DS.
They're bundled with games too, so like if they do that Sun and Moon one in the States, like, and you want to buy Sun and Moon, like that's a $40 new 3DS.
I also want to point out, Justin, I bought my Game Boy Micro. It was the Famicom one. It was $40 in box with a copy of Pokemon Leaf Green. So
that is a great.
I made out like a bandit.
Steal, man.
And I love that. I played so many GBA games on that little thing.
I mean, Game Boy Micro, I think, was a great idea, but the price point was awful. If it was like $40-$50, it would have been great.
It's the equivalent of like if Nintendo released the 2DS in like 2018.
Yeah.
Like it would have come out and people would have been like, all right, man, well, there's a new thing here.
Yeah.
Man, we do not want to talk about these StreetPass games, do we?
Oh, no, yeah, we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them. StreetPass Mii Plaza, everything's quicker, and then...
I need to download this.
Everything's quicker to Mii Plaza Premium members.
Yep.
And, yeah.
I am one of the suckers who bought StreetPass Premium. I did it for the
site.
I
get a little medal
on
my chest. I get a medal on my chest now in the game that everybody can see as I walk by to show that I'm a sucker.
It's a badge of shame almost.
And you can show off to 100 people now, Justin. Don't forget that.
I know. That is like, listen, some of these quality of life improvements are some of the best things during this direction.
2 years too late.
They are. I mean, the speed is huge. The 100 things, both of these things should have happened forever ago because it's so obnoxious to cycle through. And then if you're like at an event, a con or E3 or anything like that, and you get all these things, you got to keep checking it every 10. And then if you want to take full advantage of it, you got to play through like 50 games, which is going to be like an hour of your time. And now it's like giving you a lot more freedom to do it whenever you want, which is awesome.
If people that I was with when I went to Disney World weren't going to give me dirty looks every time I went to clear my plaza, I might have enjoyed the trip a little more.
Yes. So it's quicker. 100 encountered players instead of 10 at a time. 5 new fast-paced StreetPass games, $2.99 each. Slot Car Rivals, Market Crashers, Feed Me, Me Trek, and Ninja Launchers. Everyone who downloads the update can choose to get either Slot Car Rivals or Market Crashers for free, while the 4 other new games will be available at a special discounted bundle of $8.99. All this is available now. Let me ask you this, as someone who has not gotten it yet, do we know which one's better between Slot Car Rivals and Market Crashers? Because they both look like the best ones.
They are the best ones. I've played them all.
Yeah,
and I think those two are both great.
Which one do I get? Which one do I get?
I'd go with Slot Cars over it.
Nice.
But
How do I
Market
trigger the
Crashers is
update?
kind of fun too.
It's in the app.
It's in go in the plaza, scroll all the way to the left.
And hit update.
Ah, okay.
So they're updating this still in later 2016, which is cute.
I mean, is Street Passing dead?
For me, it's been dead for 2 years.
Yeah, like
I've been
stopped
doing
checking
it
at E3s. Like my 3DS, pretty much. I think at every event that I've been to, I want to say maybe PAX 2015 was the last time that I paid any mind to Street Passing.
Well,
I mean, I've been doing it, but I think there's less Nintendo zones now too, which makes it harder.
Yeah,
people
and I think
here
there's
to
been
do
less
that.
people doing it as well. Which I mean,
Yeah.
it's a shame that none of us are going to PAX because, especially this weekend, like it'll be a landmine.
yeah.
One thing about these games that I could be wrong with, I've been playing through them. I don't think any of these new games give out the Plaza tickets as rewards. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do.
I didn't see anyone that went into Market Crashers earlier, so because there will probably be a review of that on the site early next week. By the way.
Yeah, we're gonna have just if you're curious about any of these, we intend to have a review of each one within the next couple days. We gotta spend our time, go through the Street Pass paces.
I'm getting together with my Street Pass group this weekend actually, so we'll be able to really give it the old college try.
Okay. Now here's the game everyone wants to talk about. Picross 3D Round 2!
Yeah!
It's more Picross 3D. There's amiibo support. There's a free demo. It's in the eShop now for $29.99. They pulled a Rhythm Heaven... What's it called? Megamix. Now let me ask you this. Is it like Rhythm Heaven Megamix, where you're super psyched about it, and then you play it, and like... At first, you're like, yeah, this is the shit. But then you play it for a while, and you're like, that was all right. Because that was my...
Megamix is an awesome game.
I was so hyped for Rhythm Heaven Megamix. It's probably one of my top games of the year that I've played so far. I love that game. I never felt like, it's all right. I love that game.
See,
it's
with
awesome.
both of these games, I'm also coming from it from a weird spot because I bought both Rhythm Heaven and Picross 3D 2 on my Japanese 3DS and played a big chunk of them in Japanese. So going to the North American versions, while I still bought both of them, well, I haven't gotten Picross 3D 2 yet, but I got Rhythm Heaven and I played through it and I really like Rhythm Heaven. I'm not even it's my favorite Rhythm Heaven by far.
Okay, well it is what it is.
I mean, I like Picross, but I'm not as big a fan as some of the other people on this site, so I'm not as hyped.
I think it's one of the best puzzle games I've ever played, and I think that the changes that they made for round 2 are really good, because in the original, you would be there would be a level of abstraction in which you'd be kind of clicking the boxes, because it would be you'd be chipping away at the boxes, and at the end it would be and the edges are rounded and it's this thing, or it'd be limited by everything being angular. With this one, there are now 2 different colors that you have to tap and remove stuff. And there's a certain color that when you remove an entire row, it might be a rounded edge or something like that to allow for making more interesting shapes that you create. But I think that having the 2 different colors kind of changes up how you play it a little bit. I think it's a really good addition for what was already a fantastic puzzle game.
Okay. Cool. Has anyone... So, is Picross 3D Round 2 just the original Picross 3D, but better?
There's also the amiibo support for different characters. I mean, it's
more of the same?
Sort of. I just explained that there was a different mechanic that made it better.
No, I just meant, overall, outside of that mechanic, when you look at the full package, as an entire experience.
I think the puzzle counts are about the same.
Yeah.
But I think that the puzzles might be better.
Okay. All right. Hopefully it goes on sale at some point. I $20 want that game. I don't quite $30 want it.
Yeah, I think that $19.99 would have been a much better price for that. That's how much Picross 3D was. But I think that if you're going to get into it, it is worth the money.
Yeah.
like there's a lot of game there.
I'm probably gonna snap and buy it, but it will not be right away because it is $40 in Canada.
No. Ever Oasis. Koichi of Grezzo. That game exists. It's coming 2017.
I don't think there was some new footage because I think they showed stuff that we hadn't seen at E3. I think this game looks really fun. I wish that we had a release date.
I'd like to try it. I don't quite get how everything works together, but I'm fascinated by it. I'm willing to give it a shot.
This seems like a good candidate for a demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dungeons look good. I don't know so much about the Oasis building, so
yeah,
it could work all right.
This is the kind of game that I could see. I'm trying to think of like a good parallel. Like it could be something like Fantasy Life that I just fall in love with and play the crap out of, or it could be something like, I don't know. This isn't that good of an example. It could be something like Hometown Story, which was a game that I thought would be really good and was miserably terrible. At least I thought. Like I don't know, but everything that I've seen about it and having like Grezzo's pedigree of doing a really good job of those 3D Zelda remakes, I'm like looking forward to seeing what they can do with their own property. And I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not, but I'm very encouraged by what I've seen.
Okay, cool.
When do we think this is going to come out? Right now it's scheduled to launch in 2017. Pick a month.
Oh, okay. April.
I was going to March also.
I think it's
you said March, and you
March,
said April.
Yeah.
I said April also.
I think so. I think Pikmin will be August. I think this will be June or potentially later. I personally think that this game might slip in a similar way that Federation Force slipped.
Okay. That's cool. People aren't really like talking about this game positively or negatively, though. It just sort of exists.
Yeah,
I love the demo they showed at E3.
No, but I'm saying like it's compared to Federation Force, like this isn't making sense at all.
Well, it's a completely new franchise, so I think people don't really have a measuring stick to judge it by at this point.
I mean, I'll be kind of curious why Federation Force got delayed those last couple of months. Like, I don't know, like, was there a hiccup somewhere in development, or did they delay it so they're like, we'll just put it out in the summer and no one will notice? Like, I don't know. I know that, I mean, like, Majora's Mask was held for like 9 months. Like, that game was done, and they were just waiting for the new 3DS to come out in America.
Also, a bunch of Metroid games have released in August, so...
Yeah. But, like, that was originally... Like, Federation Force was early... Well, Federation Force was supposed to be out alongside the new 3DS, and then it was early 2016. And, like, that... And it had a release date in Japan, and it got delayed. Like, it was, I think, early June in Japan, and then it got delayed to August.
Yeah. Let me see. Ever Oasis. Hopefully it's a good video game.
Yeah. No, I want to see more of it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot more to get through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of the super tiny stuff and just read through it like in a row. And then if you guys have anything to respond to in that, we can just wipe out a chunk of all this like known quantity stuff altogether.
Okay.
Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. I may have more to say about that next week. We have...
How rigid is that embargo?
It seems pretty rigid.
Okay.
It seems like it's only like there's only one date and it's the date.
Okay.
Time for reviews. But, yeah.
Alex will have a review of that next week.
Yes. Mario Party Star Rush exists. It looks slightly better. They gave it a new cover instead of the Mario.
Videos.
Yo, Justin, I'm gonna say this. We need to get together and play this game.
Should I look for my SpaghettiOs can for you?
Yeah, sure. But I think that's how we need to cover this game. Is we need to get you, me, Jared, and the twins. By the way, Alex and Tony, if you're watching, we need to play some Mario Party when it comes out. Download, play.
Yeah.
We don't all need to buy copies.
Yes. Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, I just want to say that I thought it was hilarious when they were talking about the character switching as a great mechanic for speedrunners.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what? People are going to play that game?
It's the Sonic Boom Fire and Ice speedrunning community.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I really like the developers behind that game. I wish they would make something else, for the love of God.
Yeah.
We can only go with Sly Cooper for so long.
Yeah, I mean, but like Sly 4 was really good, and then there's like Sonic Boom 2D 3DS game, and they're given like 4 months to make it, and it's terrible.
This one's gonna be better. It'll be better.
It should be. It got delayed a year.
It comes with a 3-episode Sonic Boom DVD.
Oh, good. I can use a new coaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Disney Magical World 2 looks like Disney Magical World, but different stuff. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse First Run games have a metal emblem set. There's the new Galaxy Style 3DS, which is out this week. The Yokai
real quick, why don't they have a release date for that? I think it's the only 3DS special edition that's never had a solid release date.
Here's the release date. The system is shipping now and should start appearing on store shelves in the next week or so for a suggested retail price of $199.99. Imagine if like Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon and like the release date was in the next week or so.
That's called living in Canada prior to 2009.
Well, that's how games used to be everywhere, like in the 90s.
I was on the plug on the next episode of Cube Fight, which is NBA Courtside 2002 versus Eternal Darkness. I was reflecting about how I was very psyched for Eternal Darkness and went to a game store every day for a week because the ship date was listed as the release date online, but that was the ship date, not when it was in stores. And
I forgot there was that era of ship dates. And
I think that ended, like the Wii is around when that ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was obnoxious. And you had to like teach people what the release date actually meant.
Yep.
Yeah. Yokai Watch 2 Bony Spirits and Fleshy Souls. It's those come with coins. That comes with special like.
Is that like an NFC thing though?
It looks like it. It looks like an NFC that's not necessarily amiibo, and there's Robanian F, which is a robot, and Sailor Nyan, which is a Sailor Moon Jibanyan. Free demo mid-September, full game launch in September 30. That's a game that's gonna come and go in the States. Yeah. It's based on the silence, I can tell we're all super excited about Yokai Watch 2.
I've got both versions pre-ordered. I don't know which one I'm keeping though. I still need to find the Japanese 12-year-old.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna play it. Part of that is because I will be reviewing one of the Yokai Watch 2 versions for Nintendo Force Magazine. Part of that's also that I like 8 hours of Yokai Watch 1 a lot, and I've heard that the second one's way better.
Okay. All right.
The music's really good.
That's good.
Like I have the music in my head right now, and it was like.
You watch the show now, Neal?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Tank Troopers! The heavy hitter surprise one more thing announcement. It wasn't the one more thing, but Tank Troopers is a newly announced game that lets players customize their tank through special characteristics of tank pilot troopers, enabling abilities such as hitting enemies with a free. It's a tank fighting game. You ever see those games during like Nintendo Directs where you can't focus on the gameplay because of how awful the art and visuals of the game look?
What? Let's not
compare this to Lost Reavers, okay?
I remember
that
Steel Diver Sub Wars.
Lost Reavers is a game that exists. It came out on Wii U. Like, if a game comes out and no one remembers, did it ever come out?
Noise?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say the first rule of a 3DS Direct is that everything looks like crap because 3DS graphics do not look good blown up like that.
I mean, Tank Troopers might be really fun. Like, I'm trying to figure out. Like, someone in the chat said like maybe it's like Vanpool or Vitae is working on this. Vanpool did like the Dylan's Rolling Western games. Vitae did Steel Diver Sub Wars. It kind of reminds me of something like Sub Wars.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
I hope it's better than Sub Wars was like a really neat idea, that was just like too weird for it to totally work.
I think the final update for Sub Wars actually was the nail in the coffin for that game, because it was almost pay to win when they added the last update, because it was, you could just buy slots for your sub to like a ridiculous level, would completely ruin the balance of the game if you wanted to put money into it.
And someone asked in the chat, no word on if Tank Troopers is free to play. I would assume it is not until we hear otherwise.
Okay.
I hope it is.
Though, when we first heard about this, because it's like, oh wait, is that EX Troopers?
Yeah, I heard the name before the direct happened, and I thought it was the Capcom game EX Troopers getting a really late localization. And I've heard EX Troopers is really good, so this was a little disappointing from that regard.
Dragon Quest VIII is delayed to 2017.
When do we think that's coming out?
February.
January.
January. It's going to be the early January release.
It'll be like in the Paper Jam slot.
Yeah. I was about to say that exact phrase.
Speaking of games that came and went, what about Paper Jam?
Dude, I love Paper Jam.
But like, I'm not saying it was good or bad. I'm saying that
about how much I enjoyed Paper Jam and did not expect to. Like that's one of my favorite RPGs of the year. Legit.
It's 2000.
That's saying a lot this year.
Yeah.
2006.
That's gonna end. It's gonna end really soon with Dragon Quest VII and Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse.
Yeah. Dragon Quest VII is September 16th. You'll get a free Dragon Quest VII menu theme if you get it. Two more.
We'll have a review of Dragon Quest VII up on September 13th from Brian Rose.
Nice. Two more things. We'll talk about Animal Crossing last. So let's see, only because the Pokemon Sun and Moon stuff was just so little. Pokemon Sun and Moon, they announced the Z moves. Well, they knew it existed. Like, it's these special super moves. You can use one of these moves per battle. Normally, it's like there's one Z move per type, or at least that seems like the most common one, except for because they use crystals like Mega Stones, basically. So it's like you can either do a Mega Stone or a Z Crystal. But the interesting thing that was announced for this is that there are specialized Z Crystals for certain Pokemon. So Alola Raichu has like a special Surfer move with a cool name that I forget. And there's Snorlax, gets Snorlium Z, which allows it to use its specialized move, Pulverizing Pancake, and you can get that by buying the game before January and receiving a Munchlax and then evolving the Munchlax. You can get this Snorlax Z Crystal. And also they announced Rattata. There's an Alolan version of that that's dark and normal type, and the next news in 6 days, because of course it is.
Yeah, and they're actually doing like real world evolution as the explanation for why Alola Raichu became nocturnal, or Alola Rattata, became nocturnal.
Because too many young goose were eating too many Rattata to death. That's what the direct is basically saying. Are they really?
Yeah, that actually happened in Hawaii in like the 19th century, according to our site anthropologist Zach Miller. So that is really cool, but honestly, it's just an excuse to sing Hakuna Matata parodies.
Yeah. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, we'll have more to say next week when the next news comes out and 18 new Pokemon are revealed. So.
Yeah. By October, I think you'll be able to kind of stitch together your own version of the game if you've been paying close attention.
Oh, Pokemon Sun.
I can't wait for the Pokemon Sun and Moon fan game to come out on like November 13th.
And get DMC'd on the 14th.
There's got to be people working on it right now. Like, you got to believe.
It'll be like on the Pokemon Emerald engine, like every other one is. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty good hacks of Black and White.
Yeah.
Those tools got advanced over the years.
Uranium that's on the Gen 4 engine, more or less, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay, so that's Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon, and last but not least, Animal Crossing New Leaf. We already talked about in previous episodes the free update, which is adding compatibility with Animal Crossing series amiibo. 50 new Animal Crossing amiibo cards on December 2nd, which features villagers who did not appear originally and gives players a chance to bring them into their towns. Also on December 2nd, people who haven't picked up the game can purchase a version called Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. Only one colon, which features the update and an amiibo card. For details, watch an Animal Crossing themed mini direct this fall. It's November 2nd in Japan. I guarantee you that's when the update comes out. And that's also
did they date the mini direct?
Yeah, in the Japanese
in Japan. It's November 2nd.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. So it's going to be the same time for sure.
Yeah. And it's always weird when they do that. Like when they'll have like 2 regions will get a release date and the other one will be like, it's the spring, and then like 2 weeks later they're like, it's coming out in between the other 2 regions.
Here's a very safe prediction. I know that both the mobile game and this new update will both get screen time because they're calling it an Animal Crossing themed mini direct, but I bet one of the two, at least one of the two, is going to be available as soon as the direct ends, and the other one will be available within the month after.
I don't know, because
I bet the mobile game's first.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how they like promote and release the Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing mobile games, because like with Miitomo, in my eyes, I think they kind of did that wrong, because they're like, we're going to explain the entire game and then have it come out in Japan for 2 weeks and then finally come out everywhere else by the end of the month. And like by that point, it was kind of like the secrets of Miitomo had been exposed.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, especially if you look at how Pokemon Go came out and took the world by storm, not that Animal Crossing or Fire Emblem Mobile are going to be Pokemon Go, but I think they need to realize that the way that the mobile market seems to work best is when it's just that, like, yo, this Fire Emblem game's out right now, go download it. Like, don't give us all the details, just launch it. Like, that's how I've seen mobile games work best.
Yeah. Here's a prediction. By March 2017, we will see exactly 3 of Nintendo's 5 mobile games.
I think we'll know what the 4th one is.
Okay. But I bet
I
only
think
3
you're right.
will be released.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem's gonna be like maybe even in the Fire Emblem slot in February.
Because that's what, like, hearing that it's November 2nd is this mini direct, that makes me think that we might only be getting Animal Crossing this year. Because I would think that, like, the way they're kind of promoting that is you'd think that the Animal Crossing mobile game will be tied to that direct, and that direct will kind of lay it out, whether it comes out right away or a couple weeks after.
Because
like
usually but they usually have a direct in November, like around the middle of the month. So maybe they do the Fire Emblem one there.
I don't think you can look at past years for how Nintendo's going to handle 2016.
And then we have to
It's
also
been a weird
consider
year, dude.
if they're going to discuss that thing we aren't talking about.
Yeah.
Where does that?
There is that thing. No, we can talk about it now.
Oh yeah, it's.
Where does that fit into this whole announcement cycle?
It doesn't.
I'll say this as both kind of an ultimatum and from scuttlebutt that I've heard. If we don't know what the NX is by the end of September, then like something went horribly wrong, and like maybe Nintendo shuts down. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like the NX will be discussed in September. It has to. Or either that or they're going to be like, we're delaying it to 2018.
I don't know how they could do that.
I mean, they can't.
It's not coming out anymore. It's not coming out anymore. We're still going to support the Wii U.
They're not going to start putting 3DS releases on Wii U.
It'll be a port of the 3DS version of Mario Maker to the Wii U.
It'll be like Boshi and Poochy and Yoshi's Woolly World for Wii U.
3.
You just buy Amiibo and Wii U boxes.
Yeah.
And the classic NES.
Let's end this Nintendo nightmare with one more thing we got to talk about. After the American Direct ended at like the 33-minute mark, there were still like 8 more minutes in the Japanese one, and they mentioned some game that's called Meatopia. We don't know what it is. It just exists. And it's coming out this year in Japan.
And it's for 3DS.
Yeah. I wonder if that might be like a split release, but then again, they probably shot their wad on doing Mii-related releases on phones with Miitomo, so forget everything I just said.
Yeah.
Physical release of StreetPass.
It's like when they put out the internet browser on the DS.
Or the
Well, let me say one thing about that internet browser on DS. If you ordered it from Nintendo's online store, you got one in a different box art because it was the one for the DS Fat. So there's probably like 10 copies of that in circulation.
Do you have one?
Yes. I took a chance on it. I'm like, what will they send? And I'm like, holy shit, it's different.
Cherry Goblin said in the chat, is Miitopia a Tomodachi-like successor? Like, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised. Like, Miitopia does sound like a Sakamoto joint, but I mean, we know he worked on Miitomo, so like, could Miitopia be the future of Miiverse? Like, but it's a game. I have no idea.
What if it's tied into the My Nintendo stuff in some way?
Someone's third-rate minion saying, could Miitopia be developed by Genius Sonority? Because they did do Pokemon Shuffle, and I think they did something else kind of recently with Nintendo.
Denpaman. They're the Denpaman guys.
Well, they didn't. That wasn't with Nintendo. That was by themselves. That was like the first thing they self-published.
That's an indie game. They could put that on PC if they wanted to.
They're really. I think it's on the site, but I had a really awesome communication with like the president of Genius Sonority. Because I was thinking it was like the first Denpaman. I just tried to find a contact, and then I got this reply from this dude, and I looked up his name, and I'm like, he's been working. He worked on like Dragon Quest V, and because for people who don't know the history of Genius Sonority, it used to be the company Heartbeat that did. I think they did Dragon Quest 4, 5, and then they might have done 6, or they might have 5 or 6 was the last one that they did, but then they kind of broke up, and then a bunch of them formed Genius Sonority. But it was just very surreal to just have like this very casual, broken English conversation with a dude who made a game that I think is one of the best RPGs ever made, and he was like the director of it.
Nice. So, here's another fun fact before we end the show: the Nintendo DS web browser does not have an ESRB rating. Which I think is just a little interesting quirk, a little nice factoid.
Well, rating subject to change during online play. You're only going to use the web browser online. There you go.
It's yeah. What a trailblazer. That's just our discussion of this direct. We went for over an hour, which means we should just straight up call it now. We already talked about how we felt about it. Let's just end this thing.
There's an Indies at Night thing in like an hour.
45 minutes.
Next week, we'll talk about it next week.
Check NintendoWorldReport.com. We have a Patreon that you can help support us.
Patreon.com/NWR.
If it weren't for this, I would have edited If it weren't for this direct, I would have edited the next Cube fight already. Instead, it'll probably happen sometime this weekend.
Yeah.
That's that.
Patreon.com/NWR. Neal Ronahan's on Twitter at NRON10, NRON the number 10. Donald Terrio is on Twitter at DONALDMICK, or at NFR Podcast, his other show. And there's also Justin Berube, who is on Twitter at KINGNINTENDOFAN, King Nintendo Fan. That's him on Twitter. And I'm Kulafia at CULAFIA. That's our show. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.